Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week on this Labor Day week, week number 36 on this shortened week for Labor Day. As always, here's our disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only. I'm not providing any investment advice. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments and trades involve risks, including the loss of principals. I'll go ahead and cover the news for the week, provide a market overview over the four indices, and earnings season is winding down. We only have 117 companies reporting this week. Here's our results for last week. 20 zones were provided. We went 4-1 in stocks and 4-1 in options, 9 no entries. And we had two companies close in the zone in their respective zones on Friday, and that was Burlington and KSS, aka Ross. Here's the outlook for this week. Obviously, Monday the market is closed, and I'll go ahead and provide you with some companies that I think that will have an opportunity to meet entry this week. Went ahead and updated our stocks. We're 58 and 41 on the year. And when it comes to options, we are 101 and 27. Wanted to go ahead since it's September and everybody's pointing towards the Fed watch this month. Big week gonna be for us on the 18th when and if the Fed decides to raise rates. Here's what our probabilities are looking at. Last time I covered this, we had a 75% chance that we were going to increase interest rates. So as you can see, this data is as of the last day of the month of August. Just realize that on the 18th, we are in September, typically the most bearish month of the year. So they might pull the market back a decent when they do this Fed hike, if they execute it, and just get ready for the end of the year rally. It is a election year, so typically those end bullish, so just be mindful of that. Moving into the news, I'm going to skip over Monday as Monday the market is closed. Moving on to Tuesday, as you can see, we got manufacturing PMI 30 minutes after the opening, and so that should cause some volatility. Not only that, after the market being closed on Monday, we should have increased volume. In the evening, for those of you trading future and forex, you realize that the Australian dollar has its GDP quarterly reports. Moving on to Wednesday, Canadian dollar will be affected in the 15 minutes in the open. And we have our JOLTS job opening report 30 minutes after the open on Wednesday. Canadian dollar will be affected in the morning as well. They have a press conference release, and the Australian dollar will be affected in the evening. So be mindful of that. Moving on to Thursday, we got non-farm employment change pre-market. So expect if that report has any can cause volatility at the open, because additionally we have the unemployment claims on Thursday morning. Also, we have 30 minutes after the opening, we have PMI. So be mindful of that. And then moving on to Friday, we have the Canadian dollar being affected with its employment change and unemployment rate. And given it's the first Friday of the month, we have non-farm employment change and our employment rate, just like we do every first Friday of the month. So be mindful of that although it's a short week, we may have a lot of volatility in the early morning of every day this week. Moving into our chart, starting with the S&P 500 or the SPX. This was our level. You can see that this worked once, twice, 3 times for us. So we're going to remove this level, and this is no longer valid for supply in the S&P 500. Do not be surprised if we make an all-new time high this week, and then they pull the market back for us in the upcoming weeks with the Fed rate. With that being said, no supply in the SPX. Our first demand zone I have for you is 54.59 to 54.10, and a subsequent level at 53.56 to 53.01. Moving on to the NASDAQ. As you can see, the NASDAQ is weaker. It's not at close to its all-time highs, unlike the S&P 500. We have a gap to fill. That level is going to be 22.53 to 25.92 on the supply side. On the demand side, for those of you who are looking for a trade, we have a level right here and another one right here for more aggressive traders. It's going to be 1905, 19 1855 to 18,825 and 18,555 to 18,296. So those are going to be your levels on the NASDAQ. Moving on to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones, the strongest market out of all of them, making all-time highs again. The first level, no supply in the Dow. First level I have for you is still remaining 396 to 392. And this lines up with our NASDAQ level. Moving on to the good old rut. So as you can see, the rut still staying within the confines of the levels I've provided. This level has worked numerous times. Just understand that this peak here, I haven't removed it. It's the 2300 area, and realize there's another level here at 2325.66 to 2370. This is an aggressive level. For those of you who are more conservative, just let's just say that this level worked and you want to wait for the 2325. On the demand side, this is the level that's holding the rut. You got 2018 to 1956, and we still have a lower level we've been waiting for all year at 1887 to 1847. Moving on to the stocks that we have reporting earnings this week. I'm going to start with Zscaler. So on the demand side, we got 128.85 to 123.11 with a subsequent level right below it at 119.74 to 113.26. On the supply side, 235.79 to 251.36, and they are reporting Tuesday after the market. Next company I have for you is GitLabs. Demand side is going to be 37.42 to 32.62, and on the supply side, we got 73.26 to 78.62. In the event of an overshoot, you got the 84.27 to 98.47. Moving on to Wednesday morning, starting with Dick's Sporting Goods. You can see that at an all-time high. First demand level I have for you is 170.43 to 165.01. Next company I have for you is Dollar Tree. So on the demand side, they have 56.03 to 49.35, and then on the supply side, 117.62 to 123.53. If they follow suit like Dollar General did last week, they're gonna have a bad day. So be mindful of that. And for those of you want to check out DG from last week, look at what happened to DG. Moving on to Hormel Foods. That first level I have for you is 27.13 to 24.63 on the demand side. And just realize this level has worked twice. On the supply side, we got 36.04 to 37.29. Next company I have for you is AI, reporting Wednesday in the afternoon. This is the level that's been holding AI for quite some time. That level is 20.61 to 16.92 on the demand side. And on the supply side, we got 38.32 to 40.64. Next company is SAC. So on the demand side, we got 108.18 to 104.21. And on the supply side, we got 141.90 to 145.15. Next company I have for you is Thursday afternoon is Broadcom. You can see this level has worked already once, so be mindful of that. That level I have for you on the supply side is 169.25 to 177.28. And on the demand side, 115.09 to 104.23. And the last company I have for you this week is DocuSign. And on the demand side, we got 43.96 to 42.05. And on the supply side, 63.91 to 67.06. With that being said, that's going to do it for the charts this week. For those of you who haven't contacted, for those of you who need to contact me, feel free to email me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. For those of you looking to see when I have my next courses, go ahead and check out the website. For those of you who are not following me on social media, go ahead and do so that you can check out the trades I put during the week. With that being said, till next time, happy trading.